Welcome, everyone. Mm, welcome. Y'all, I need y'all to cut the middleman out and win during these tariff wars. And I'm going to talk to you about how to do it if you were already not doing the thing. So let me share this copy link. Uh, let's see. I was about to know these people. Hold on. Group is up threads. Period. Hold on, y'all. Okay, I didn't end it. Okay, hold on. Period. So let me share this again. A few minutes in. Hmm, right. I have in the last few days have just been at ease with the decisions I made 10 years ago. And I made a decision that I am going to go to school, use the education from school along with the business information that I knew, and create a business that I would be proud of today, or even if I decided to not do the business, that no matter which direction I go in life, I can create a business based on the information that I need to know. What is going on with the tariff wars? Um, and most people are probably not paying attention to it. Hey, Melanie, I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good. Hey, Puka Bear, hope you're doing good. What is going on right now with the tariff wars is there is a lot of information that you need to understand. There is a lot of mongering, and the fear mongering will have you doubting yourself, will have you questioning yourself, will have you feeling like, dang, our economy is bad, um, things are falling apart. Everything is more expensive. People losing their jobs. People have better quality of life outside of the United States and all these things, right? Now, I'm a person that knew that, but there's a lot of you that don't know that. I'm a person that grew up around entrepreneurs, right? And there were still things about entrepreneurship I did not understand or really focus on until I became an entrepreneur myself and started the type of business that I started. So, I am going to go through all the things with you guys from a beauty professional standpoint. For those of you who don't know, my name is Anna Fraser. I've been a licensed cosmetologist for 10 years. And through that, my dream was to become a hair extension specialist. And I did that. And now my next goal is to coach beauty professionals to wealth. A lot of us have skills, a lot of us have made money, a lot of us need help managing our money, tracking our money, leveraging our money, expanding our money, and saving for retirement. It breaks my heart to hear of anybody in an industry for 10 plus years or whatever the case may be, and they never get to the point of learning how to take the money from their passion and to build wealth from it. We're going to talk about all the things. Not today, but we're going to cover all the things. This is your girl, Anna Fraser, your new favorite beauty pro coach. Now, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. We are going to talk about why now is the best time for you to cut out the middleman. I'm going to tell you why. Go directly to the source because all your faves do it. You're the only one not doing it because you don't have your own plugs. Number two, boss up your beauty business. How are you going to truly do that if you're always buying third party for your business? I really want you to think about that. And I really want you to pay attention to other business people, how they move and how they're able to make things happen for themselves. Okay? Let me tell you something. If you are still overpaying for products that you need for your product based business or your service based business that requires you to use products to provide the services for your customers, I'm telling you right now, it's because it has not clicked for you that you should be developing your own vendor supplier list for your personal life and for your business life. Or you need to purchase a vendor list from somebody in your industry who uses those vendors on that list. I'm not opposed to buying other people's vendors list, but a lot of people, and I've been that too, I made the mistake of thinking that if I start out my business just buying any vendor list, that will help me. No, it was a waste of money. Okay, because nobody on that vendor list is what I needed. Some of those vendors were out of business. Some of those vendors were scammy people. And so the people on my vendor list are people that I built a relationship with, that I bought samples from, that I used professionally and personally. And I would highly recommend that you either build your own vendor list off of the research and the relationships you built yourself, or to get a vendor list to kickstart, to jumpstart your business, but it needs to be from somebody in that industry who's already achieved some success that you have not achieved for yourself. Okay. And then this is what you do, y'all. You continue to build your vendor list off of that. So, either way, this is about building. Okay. Number one, why should you cut out the middleman? Most beauty resellers are the middleman. Most beauty resellers are the middleman. Nothing wrong with being the middleman, okay? Because you're either buying, because here's the T. You're either buying directly from the source or you're buying it from a middleman. Most of what you eat, most of what you wear, most of the things you have, you bought from middlemen. Okay, here's the next thing. They mark up, aka we mark up beauty products 2 to 4 times as much. But I got a little secret that I learned yesterday. Well, it's not really a secret anymore. What if I were to tell you that, how do I say this? What if I were to tell you that the reason your business may not be seeing the numbers that another business is seeing is because you don't understand your numbers. You don't understand your numbers because, number one, you're not buying wholesale directly from the source. You're buying wholesale from the middleman. Yes, you can buy wholesale from the middleman, which will still be cheaper, right? But it's not the cheapest you can get it from. I'm gonna give you an example and I'm gonna call them out because I don't really care anymore. When y'all are buying discounted Bellamy hair to then resell it back to your customers, you never bought the hair wholesale. You bought it for a discounted retail price that they tried to convince you was wholesale. Ugh, my lip gloss kicking up. Only for you to resell it. I don't know if any of you guys have experience using that hair. They have really good marketing, really good branding. The quality of the hair is not that great. compared to other suppliers I've worked with directly. Okay, it's okay. It's not that great overall. Okay, some of their extensions, I'm like, yeah, that'll work for certain people. But again, I am being honest. The quality of hair that I get directly from the source has been better than buying it third party from them. Okay, all right. So the next thing is, oh, going back to the markup. Most of these companies are not marking up these beauty products 2 to 4 times as much. They're marking it up 5 to 10 times as much. So if you know that to be true, you can even out the playing field right now with all of these top producing companies that are taking over to have more reasonable, realistic prices for the women and men in your community based on what is going on right now. Right now, people still need to buy things. They just don't need to buy things 10 times what it's actually worth. People don't mind that you make a profit for helping them. It just has to make sense, and it's going in a direction where the shit don't make sense no more. Okay? When you go directly to the vendor, you increase your profit margins. You have more wiggle room to play around with. You can get custom branding. This is what a lot of your luxury brands, top brands have done. They got their stuff made in China and they custom branded it in their country and sold it to you for more than 10 times as much. And you get an opportunity to build a real business, not just a hustle, because by dealing directly with the source, guess what? You can now afford your inventory if you want to stock inventory on hand, or you can go the drop shipping route. I don't have no shade for nobody that uses Alibaba. I never found my vendors on Alibaba. I found my vendors through social media. I did some research. I reached out to these vendors and I patiently waited to see who responded. I had conversations with them. I asked the questions that I needed to ask to see who could help your girl out so I can help you guys out. You're going to have to understand that there will be a market of people who will never be comfortable with purchasing overseas because they've never done it, and it's just that scare factor, but they will work with you because you have built the reliable relationships with these vendors, but you're here on the same land with them. So they're willing to work with you. Okay, don't miss out on that opportunity. If you're just now tuning in, I would highly recommend you watch the replay because I dropped some gems in the first 13 minutes of this thing. Okay, now you also get to gain control over the quality, shipping timelines, and pricing flexibility. Okay, when you buy directly from the source, you have more flexibility to where you can put your prices at, to where your customer wins, you wins, the manufacturer won, right? Okay, and the shipping timelines, I really feel like when it comes to shipping, it really depends on the overseas vendors you're working with. Um, and so once you're building that relationship, having a conversation with them, then you can figure out what do shipping timelines look like for you, especially with what they're dealing with in their country. The next thing is, like I said, you get to control, you get more control over the quality. Um, hold on. All right, this is an example. True stuff, okay? Because I fell into this trap. I remember I had this gap where I had a vendor, or my first vendor that I ever had was a third party vendor. I dealt with him directly. When that didn't work out, I did affiliate marketing with other hair companies because I didn't know at that point how to source my own suppliers overseas. So I was dealing with the suppliers here. The next thing I did was there was another supplier here, but again, she was a third party supplier. I got a discounted, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. She charged me her third party wholesale price, not the wholesale price from directly from the source, if that makes sense, right? And cool, you got to play the game until you can position yourself to not have to deal with those things. So all of these different positions of the retailer, right? The the third party wholesale, right? The third party retailer, third party wholesaler, dealing with wholesalers directly, right? Every position is needed depending on where you're at in your business. But the ultimate goal, you guys, is to get to a point. All right. Sorry, y'all, I'm muting so I don't have to do the back and forth, right? So, where was I at? Right? And so I had to do that until I figured out, okay, how do I commute? Where do I find these supply? Oh, another thing I also did, right? So I've done retail, I've done the the wholesale, right? I've bought somebody's vendor list before, and there's nothing wrong with doing any of those. But this is my based on my experience. I'm telling you, if you're gonna go those routes, just know you're leaving money on the table, okay? And that should encourage you to want to do the work so you can connect directly to the source, okay? All right, what else is I'm gonna say? All right, so here's an example of why you should cut the middleman out. So the reason you want to do that is because, for example, you spent $300 on some hair, right? For a bundle deal. Yeah. Okay, so for example, you have this bundle deal that's $300, right? You resell it for 450. If you were working directly with the vendor, you could have got it for 190 with better quality, right? And this is why your competition is scaling in your stuff. The math isn't mathing. And that's literally what it is. One person is buying directly from the source, the other person is buying from a third party wholesaler, or they'll say it's wholesale and really you're just paying a discounted retail price lower than what a retail consumer would pay for it. So the profit that you're making appears as if you're making a lot of money. Pricing formulation is so important. I have information about that. I will leave that down below along with my vendor that I'm giving to y'all for so cheap. So cheap it's ridiculous. So if you're finding this information useful, if you have questions, if you'd like to support, I would love for you guys to subscribe, like, comment, share this information. So here's the second thing. The second thing is entrepreneurs need to wake up during the tariff wars and the economic shifts. The current tariff wars between the United States and China, it's increasing the cost of imported goods. But if you have relationships with your vendors, you could then talk to them about what they're dealing with shipping the imported goods. Right now, because you have to deal with this part of the business, it would benefit you if you were dealing with the vendors directly instead of third party wholesalers and retailers. Inflation is impacting everyone around the world. That is a fact. Retail prices are rising. Retail prices are rising, but those with direct supplier relationships still have room for a profit. And that's facts. You need to see all them people that caught a few bags during the pandemic, during the how many millionaires were made? Keep that in mind, okay? Owning your own vendor relationships lets you negotiate, bulk buy, and diversify your sources when the prices go up. Entrepreneurs who control their supply chain are winning, while others are stuck waiting on third parties, getting ghosted when delays hit, or watching profits disappear overnight. Listen, let me tell you something. It happens all the time. This is what is setting a lot of y'all apart. One, you're not buying directly from the source, and two, you have not diversified your sources of direct suppliers. Number three, direct vendor relationships build wealth. You don't just save money, you build leverage. You can actually white label what I tell you, Louis Vuitton, Dior, Chanel. Come on, YSL. You can eventually white label, build brand trust, and even launch subscription boxes or custom product lines. When you cut the middleman, you're not just buying beauty products, you're buying ownership of your beauty business. Who found that information helpful? This is how I made six figs in less than a year. My first time out full time behind the chair, self employed by myself. This is how I did it. Well, one of the ways how I did it. But as far as when it came to the products that I needed for my business, this is how I did it. Now, this along with the pricing formulation you're going to need to understand for your business Okay. If you are ready to skip the gatekeepers and start building real vendor relationships that work for you, I'm going to drop some information down below and you can build off of this. Okay. I would love for you guys to grab my vendor list and my pricing formulation um, worksheet and start buying smarter so you can sell bigger and get more money. This is not a time for you to stay down. This is a time for you to rise up. Okay? And I will catch you guys in the next slide. Ooh, this was fun. All right, bye, y'all.